Okay, let's see. Is this gonna work? Yes, it's gonna work. I can see everyone on Twitch now. So it's
awesome.
Hi everyone on Twitch. As this is our first live podcast, and so you get to see us make all the mistakes. You know, I'm not really an audio editor, but it's amazing what I do get out of the audio at the end of the recording. So. But you'll actually be able to see all of our gaffes and everything, and be able to actually call us on it. I'm not gonna talk to people in chat during this. At the end of the and I actually managed to have myself playing in the background there, so that was poor form already. So we're doing very well so far. But welcome to Limit Break, a podcast by Final Fantasy Radio. I am your host, Helkaweth, joined by Renidas and Sixuchi, per usual, with the exception of last podcast, which was with Mega Ran. It only made sense. It was such a hard time getting him scheduled that we ended up doing it on a weekday at like 9:30 a.m. Because he's in Phoenix, so it was also trying to figure out when he had to travel, because he's on a tour right now and everything, and so that was a fun podcast. But I really like I put, I talk about round table. We're more of a triangle shaped table because there's 3 points here, so yeah, it's fun. But so today, what we're going to talk about, and the cool thing is that there's been a lot brought up in the in recent times of with Final Fantasy 15 coming out and everything. But today we're going to talk about World of Final Fantasy, because that's been the latest release, and I'm really, I picked it up on release day. And from what I saw and everything, I was really excited for this game. And I'm going to try not to spoil anything or, talk about... I want to keep us strictly to the main points of gameplay, feature design, I guess, kind of the design of the characters, the graphics, the story. We don't have to spoil any story, but just kind of, give our thoughts on the story, and also talk about just, this and that. And like I said, with Final Fantasy 15 imminent, it's hard to ignore the fact that they discussed a MMO mobile game from the makers of that Arnold Schwarzenegger type of game out right now, I guess.
I think it's Mobile Strike.
Mobile Strike, that's what it is. Thank you, Ren. Sure. Why? Let's just keep on doing that. Let's add something else to Final Fantasy 15. I mean, this is a tower that reaches to the sky, and what?
At what point does it crumble?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I hope that it stays upright, but it's like, and you're gonna get a mobile MMO and you're gonna get a retro game if you pre-order it, and here's a movie, and here's an anime, and sorry that we waited 13 years. Here's some stuff. But that aside, let's talk about World of Final Fantasy. Initial thoughts. What do you guys think?
I thought it was pretty good. I was not necessarily excited for this game. I typically don't gravitate towards the the kind of chibi style animations and things like that. But once I got it and started playing, a few hours in, I started to really enjoy it. I thought the graphics looked great. Voice acting was really good, or is really good, and yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I guess we'll put it that way. It wasn't super excited for it, but then was very happy with it once I got into it.
Cool. Sixuchi.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I purchased a copy. Same with Jack. Not really a fan of chibi. I mean, I understand where it comes from, like culturally wise, from Japan, but I didn't know how it'd pan out in a Final Fantasy game. Once I started playing, it just slowly grasped and my attention. I got captivated. It's very cute. It has good moments. Its script moments were okay, but other than that, it was all right.
Yeah, I here's how I feel about it. And do I like the game? Yes. Do I think it's a $60 game?
Oh,
No.
heavens no.
I think it overshot its price point, and got someone like me to go, I'm gonna pay $60 to play a Final Fantasy game, and then don't get me wrong, it's fun. The battle system is fun. The collecting system is fun. Reading about the monsters is a whole lot of fun. That is one of my favorite parts of the game.
Agreed.
And I kind of like the dry humor from the brother and sister, Lana and Rain, but I don't feel like it's. Whereas with like Final Fantasy 15, I'm hoping that that's a very, and it already is. There's a lot of story there. There's because we've already digested Kingsglaive, and there's so much more story that we're looking forward to, and maybe eventually we'll get to play female characters with DLC. Sorry, that it's. I can't believe that was a statement made. But I feel like
it feels like a boys fan club, don't you think?
Yeah, it really does. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Square? What's going on here? But that world is very developed. We've already seen it somewhat developed already with the movie, and now we'll have a whole entire game that I would hope that you don't need to see the movie to actually really dive into, which I don't think you will. For those that don't want to watch a movie. But with World of Final Fantasy, I don't feel it's as. I feel like it's like and game, It throws you into the middle of a game. And the gimmick is really good. Collect monsters, and they help you fight other monsters and collect those monsters. That seems like a premise that would seem very popular somewhere else. I think that some other company should find a way to make a game like that, and market it. Maybe put it on a smartphone so people can walk around and it's just Pokemon. It's just Pokemon.
That's all it is.
Oh god, it is. I feel like Pokemon, and for me, I miss Pokemon for the most part. It came out right at that age where it was like, I don't think I can do this without looking very uncool. So I didn't really do it. And now I'm starting to go back and play some of those games, and it's like, oh, okay, well, these are fun. This is cool. But like this game is primarily based upon the collect them and make them fight and
Gotta catch them all.
You got to catch them all. That's the idea behind the game, which isn't a bad one. But it's like I said, I would not pay another $60 for this game again. So battle system. I like the battle system. I like the idea of stacking and unstacking. Once you get to a point of where you're like, oh no, we're going to topple, so you unstack your characters and then they can act independently. I thought that was really cool. And I thought that the fact that you changed, designs from that chibi look to what I will label the Kingdom Hearts look, I would say. The Kingdom Hearts style of... Yeah.
Yep. Right on.
Yeah, that's
on
pretty fair.
Yeah. Which is fine. I didn't expect this to be Final Fantasy 15. I didn't expect this to be Final Fantasy 7. I didn't expect it to be any of that. I was pleasantly surprised with what I got. I think the battle system was fun. I think the story was a little shallow, but whatever. I mean, again, I wasn't expecting super in-depth. I was expecting, here's a game, play it, and wait for the next thing. This is a game, I thought of this right before I hopped on here, while my kids were screaming and yelling and spitting at me and stuff like that. This was a game that I would not mind letting my kid play to get into Final Fantasy. What do you guys think about that statement?
Actually, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, It really does. I would maybe even argue that it could be a good entry point for anyone, not even just children, because it's not as dark, not as deep, as you were saying, not as complicated. So it is a lot easier to digest than, say, starting out with something like Final Fantasy VII that had a lot of moving parts. So, yeah, I would agree with that. I think it would be a good entry point for anyone.
Scott, your thoughts?
Yeah, most definitely. I think for anyone who's not, never been introduced to this series, rather than starting from 1 to 12, it'd probably be best to start out with that installment of the series. And realistically, it's rated for everyone, so you know what you're getting into just by the RSP rating. And it's not as dark as you guys saying. It's just optimistic.
Yep.
Well, E10. Sorry,
E10.
not
E10.
E10.
But you know what? That E10 means that we think that everyone should be able to play it, but you probably need the dexterity of a 10-year-old to play it. Most likely, I would think.
Not only that, come on, the kids playing Call of Duty these days.
Yeah, I know. Oh God. Go onto Xbox Live and listen to the words that come out of a 6-year-old's mouth.
Yeah, primarily.
It's like, who is letting their kids say that? Okay.
Yeah.
My kid says, "Shut up," and I'm like, "Go to your room
on.
right now." Like, I'm so angry with you.
But especially for guys like us who have just grown up with the series, I think this is definitely one of those titles. If we have kids at this point, introduce them to it. But I also felt like the game kind of fed the fan service. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, let's just drop the ball on it. And where's Vaughn? Where was 12? Where was Vaughn? You're gonna get the whole consumer basis mixed up. Vaughn, Lawn. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, I think they have less love for. I think Square even has less love for 12 than the rest of us. Yeah. Scott, I think that they're really reluctant to get. They're like there was 11 and it's still going, and you want to hear about games. 13 is our favorite game ever. Right before 15. What about 12? Well, you could play an MMO in 14.
Yeah. Just give it all together.
Well, what happened to 12? We were out to lunch and we decided not to talk about it. No, it was, no, I know you have a lot of love for 12. No, and the funny thing is that with these podcasts, whenever I say something about I don't enjoy 12 as much, I get some backlash to that, which is surprising to me. It's like I didn't enjoy 12 as much. I felt that there were some weaker points to it. Here's what it was. I remember the statement now. I said, I feel that 12's cast of characters is one of the least memorable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And somebody came at me hard for that statement. I mean, I was like, "Whoa!" I'm like, is this Scott under a different username? I'm like, is he punking me right now? It was and he, and I smoothed it over. I was like, it's not saying it's a bad game. It's just saying that, when I talk about Final Fantasy, a lot of people will say Cloud or Terra or Titus, whatever. Or
Squall.
Yes, Squall.
Definitely Squall.
Yeah. Jack. Definitely Squall. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not, I am a Final Fantasy VIII fan. That's my favorite. That is definitely not a popular opinion. So if anyone's going to stand up and defend 12, you go right ahead. I cannot give you any crap at all because
you be the
where I'm
shield.
coming from. Yeah.
No, my favorite Final Fantasy is an easy one. It's like it's a slam dunk for the one I love. 6. It's a very easy one to defend. When people are like, "Oh, 6 is overrated," it's like, you shut up. Okay, it has the greatest cast characters ever. It was a classically built game. It was 16-bit. It had more story than any other game out there at the time. So you shut up. Shut up. So for me, I don't have to be the wall. Nobody's gonna come at 6 like that, But I give you guys all the credit for that. But no, it was much like 14 is an homage to Final Fantasy fans because it puts in a lot of fan service for people who love Final Fantasy. This most definitely was an homage to Final Fantasy fans because it has all the things that people love about Final Fantasy. It has the characters from the other games, the heroes. The hero summons and stuff like that, before I even bought the game, I get in my email, get Sephiroth if you get the day one edition, and, okay, no problem, but I didn't pre-order it, I just went to the store and bought it because I don't pre-order things anymore. I don't want to. Even though I want some things with pre-orders, I don't want to pre-order things anymore. Unless they give me a thing right then and there. That's my thing with pre-ordering now. Unless you give me something at that moment, I'm not going to pre-order. So I've kind of changed my stance on that a little bit. But no, I really, my dog is now barking. That's great. Sorry guys.
Opinion too, I'm sure.
No, they're like you shut up, but no, I think that in seeing the little chibi style Sephiroth, bring down Meteor, there's something cool about that, and I, like you said, I'm not a big fan of the chibi style characters, but I did enjoy that. To see, because it's like, oh, that's cute, and it's kind of destructive. So, yeah, he's trying to murder the planet right there, so that's kind of cute. Look at little Sephiroth just riding his own meteor, and having such a straight face for that little tiny cute character, adorable. No, I think the music was great. I think that the battle system was fun. Story a little shallow. I almost, and here's the thing: nobody is ever gonna write about how great Mystic Quest was, because it wasn't. But I almost think of this as Mystic Quest in a sense for this generation. It could be because Mystic Quest was supposed to be like your first RPG. If you had a Super Nintendo, that was supposed to be your first RPG, kind of. And it was fun, it was simple, the music was awesome. I love Mystic Quest music so much. Like, the battle theme is, like, the best battle theme out of all the freaking Final Fantasies ever. And because it, like, has such metal riffs to it, and it's just, it's beautiful. But, I think that this game is on par with that. Because, like I said, I don't mind handing this to my kid at the end of the day and going, hey, why don't you give this a try, and and let's see what you think, because it is cute, so she's gonna be like, oh well, it's kind of cute, and then maybe we have something in common in video games, instead of her playing The Sims or something like that, because I don't I don't do that. So I guess so. We've kind of praised it. Was there anything bad that you guys found about it?
Honestly, I know you kind of gave it a rate for the music, but I mean, we've seen so many remixes of like the similar tracks. You know what I mean? So I get they went out of their way like to remix it and whatnot. if I don't know if you guys kind of feel this, but when I was listening to some of the remixed of like Cornelia, like the castle theme, I felt like it had kind of more of a cutesy tone to it with the SFX and the synthesizer. I felt it was more like a cutesy approach to the original, the soundtrack. So, other than that, like, you kind of knew what you were getting into. You know what I mean? When you saw that trailer with the cute little behemoth, you're like, yep. It's gonna try to take itself seriously, but will it make the mark? I think that's really debatable. Because some cutscenes they were amazing. The script was hilarious. You know, you had a good laugh.
Yep.
You know, they even got Snow Villiers in there, and he made a couple quotes that were actually Final Fantasy 13, and you're dying of laughter. But when it came to the serious notes, like about the prophecies and whatnot, like I just felt I couldn't take it seriously. I'm looking at these cute, huge, bobble-headed, you know, animated characters. They don't even have fingers or toes, you know, and they're just. It's hard to take a game so seriously when that's kind of supposed to be the captivated audience, right? I don't know. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, and it was a little difficult to really be that invested in it because of that reason, and maybe some of the expectations I had going in, again, that it was going to be shallow. It's this cute little thing. It's just supposed to be fun. So you talk about any end of the world type stuff. It's not really buying into that as much.
Yep.
But that didn't bother me as bad, really. And you know, with the remixes of the other tracks, I definitely get what you're saying. And when we've heard these 8,000 times before, but again, I didn't mind those as much, in that they were sort of toned down and a little milder. I think fit with kind of the way the game was going.
Definitely.
My thing was, I got a little frustrated, I think, with the transfiguration parts of raising the monsters, the mirages.
Right.
And there was and I'm gonna probably butcher this, but there was a process where you have to have the particular creature's prism to be able to capture it, and if you happen to capture a lesser version of that particular creature and you level it up and you transform it into its into its cousin monster, then you can't capture it in the field as easily because you've already used your prism on something. It was, and again, I'm probably butchering that explanation, but that part kind of aggravated me, that it was that the prism, having the prism thing beforehand, it seemed kind of unnecessary, and I wasn't sure what they were trying to do with that. And like I said, it almost say again.
Pokemon ripoff.
Yeah, yeah, basically, I guess. And I'm the same way. I never got into any of the Pokemon games or did any of that early on, so it's definitely a new experience for me. But it almost seemed like it punished me for grinding, I guess, and starting to transform monsters maybe before I was supposed to, according to them. But other than that, I mean, I think it was still fine.
I think that you both make great points on it's hard to take it seriously. It's hard to be like, oh, the end of the world. It's like, nah, I don't care. And but then I go, did I look at Final Fantasy VII? Which wasn't the greatest. I mean, back then it was the greatest looking game ever. But it was like when I saw Cloud jump out of the train and I saw some blocks and a circle for a head, was I like, oh, I have to take him seriously as the protagonist? So I guess I could look past that. The music, again, like you said, we've been hit over the head a million times with the Final Fantasy music, but this isn't a numbered Final Fantasy, so I give it a pass on that. And with Final Fantasy 14, it creates new music and then it uses old music. I think that the oversaturation of trying to, like you said, Jack, and I agree with you in a sense where it was like, are you kidding me? What do I have to do here? I felt like the trying to do the things that you wanted to do could be very difficult. I have one huge problem with this game, and it's not necessarily anything important. It's Tama.
Oh my God! Yes, yes, you said it. You said it. God bless you.
I
How
mean,
can you have the problem?
oh my God!
Yeah,
I would
literally.
if I were on a highway with that thing, I would throw it out the window.
Straight.
Not
Let's
feel
say-
an ounce of guilt seeing that thing just roll on the road, because the thing was the thing that drove me nuts during just hearing it talk, and just like I'm just like, oh God, nothing else talks like this, nothing else, and I was losing my mind, you know, during all of the setup, during all of the opening scenes, and I'm just like, oh my God, am I gonna quit? Am I gonna quit this in the first hour?
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't, you know, because that's just how it goes. But holy crud! I mean, that was a tough. What are you trying to do, shoving Jar Jar Binks onto us first thing? You know, I mean, you know, we talked about in our Kingsglaive podcasts about the overuse of hero, and
Right.
what is it?
Raji?
Type 0.
Type 0. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
oh God. Or the
you
yoga.
know? But I mean, it just became, every time I saw the or heard the in front of a word, because I'm just like, nope. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why are you adding the? I hate you, Tama. I hate you.
Grammar police.
Oh God, just, you know, can I just feed you to one of these gimmies? You know, just the I don't. Oh God, I felt like that was, you know, and maybe a younger audience enjoys that type of idiot, but I hate that. Like when you add a character, you know, and Tama is responsible for guiding you and giving you all the instruction, and basically saving your ass if you die. You know, basically going, hey, I can save you. You know, but I'm gonna say the in front of a word in every sentence that I say, and it's like, just leave me dead, for the love of God, so I don't have to hear you say it. You know. Just don't bring me back.
That's
just
what I'm saying is, like, how can we take it so seriously? You got like little Tama making those the comments every 9 seconds, and then you got Lon being like, "What the honk?"
Yeah, with the honk.
Like, what the honk every time, and I'm just like, okay.
Wozers.
Yeah.
Wozers. The black mage.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the game was. I think the game was a lot of fun. Like I said, $60 is a bit steep for something like this. Mostly just because it's not a numbered Final Fantasy. It's, you know, I didn't play Final Fantasy Explorers mostly because Amazon never delivered it to me.
Ouch.
So I canceled it and was like, you know what, I quit. You know, I'm not gonna. If I play it ever, I play it. I don't think that this game deserved to be $60. I think this is a good $40 game. And if you want to wait, $25. You know, we've got the holidays rolling up on us, so you might be able to get it for $35 or something like that, I would think.
Good old Christmas discount.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if Titanfall 2 can be released a week ago and go to $35, then I don't see why this game wouldn't be $35 in a week, and so on and so forth. And I don't play Titanfall, so so I don't know if that's a good price or a bad price for it. But I think that overall, you know, I wasn't looking for the most captivating story. I think I was happy with it. So I don't know. Would you guys recommend buying it?
I would. I agree with you about the price point. And also, it kind of, if you just had the game and you saw a trailer for it and asked someone, could you guess what system this is coming out for?
Yes.
I think the overwhelming response would be, well, it's a Nintendo system. Obviously, right? It's a Nintendo game. And that's kind of what that was a feeling that I had. I could see this perfectly fitting in on the Wii U,
Mm-hmm.
But and for a lower price, I would think.
Yep.
But again, as long as you are not expecting, as we've said, you're not expecting a numbered Final Fantasy, because that's not what it is.
Nope.
And that's okay, and it's not trying to be. It's not apologizing for not being that. But as long as you go into it expecting that, then yeah, I think it's worth it. I mean, it's been a fun game.
Yep. Scott?
I think you gotta look at it like this. If you've never played a Final Fantasy game in your life and you're really interested about the franchise, start with this title. I mean, start it out like that. But I gotta be real with you guys. All three of us have been playing, all 12 games, 13, 14. We've gone head over tails for this franchise. What it comes down to is the nostalgia in that video game enough to keep us, as an older, already interested audience, attracted to it. And I mean, they had Ferris, they had Bartz, they had Gilgamesh, they have a lot of characters from the franchise. They left out a couple too. We saw no one from Final Fantasy 2, no Furion. We saw no one from 12, but I already said, guys, I'm pretty sure they didn't add Vaughn just because of the name mix-up. You know what I mean? How can you have Vaughn if the main character of this series is called Vaughn? Like, it's not going to work, man. But I think that's really what it comes down to when it comes to recommending a purchase. Definitely $60, not worth it. Probably a cash grab, if anything. But if you're new to the franchise and you really want to get into Final Fantasy, I would start with it. You know what I mean? Because it kind of gives you a little bit of backstory, even to Warrior of Light and Cornelia, Princess Sarah. You get kind of a short backstory about even someone from Final Fantasy 1.
Yep. And that was something fun, because I was like, oh, Princess Sarah, huh? And we're in Cornelia. Okay, that makes sense. So that was, like you said, it was fun. I couldn't have said it better than both of you kind of put it there. I think that it is worth a purchase, especially if you're new to the franchise, and even if you're not new to the franchise, if you're a veteran of it, I think that it's worth a play. At least to kind of see what it's about and kind of get some of those classical notes in India and everything, and just have fun. Yeah.
Hey, if the chibi cute animation doesn't get to you, everything else will. I mean, remember even nearing the end of the game, you fight different style bosses from different scenes. Mm-hmm. You had to fight, what was it, the Omega weapon in Cornelia, and that back in the day, that was the ultimate boss for Final Fantasy 1, right? So I mean, it does get on the heartstrings of nostalgia, but the overcast of remixes, I don't know if it really, and the Cogna, I don't know if the script really gets that far. It's shallow, like you guys say, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, that's not an issue.
One thing that I would like to point out that Scott had mentioned as a good thing for the game is the inclusion of some of the lesser known characters from the series.
Right?
Right, yeah, and Ferris. I was excited to see Ferris. I thought that was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and you always, when they do these things, you're always going to have Cloud. You're always going to have, Squall. You're going to have Sephiroth. You're Lightning. Oh my gosh, you can't have a game without Lightning.
Yep.
But you rarely ever see people like Edgar or people like Ferris, and I thought that was pretty neat that they went so far as to do that. And yeah, they missed a couple of games, but just going kind of to the well on some of the lesser known characters and getting them more exposure, I thought was really neat.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I do agree. So yeah, buy this game if you want to. Yeah, that makes sense. So
it's instant.
Now we get to talk about. I will say that's kind of wrapping up the main topic of our podcast, because why the hell not? And let's with 15 being imminent, I'd like to talk about it because I don't know if we'll get on a podcast. You got Thanksgiving rolling up and all of that other stuff, so it's like, we're going to be just flat out for the next, few weeks. So I'd like to kind of get to touch upon 15. Are you guys excited for it? Are you guys as excited as you were? Are you where you were at, or are you further ahead?
I'm probably where I was before. Maybe as it gets closer, that might go up, but I am excited, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm also nervous, oddly enough. I'm nervous for the franchise. That, again, as I've said before on here, I'm concerned that if this game isn't one of the greatest games we've ever played, what's going to happen? What the fallout from that will be. But still excited. Very excited.
No, definitely. I think that it's it's one of those instances where we've so much, and I couldn't believe when I saw that announcement for the mobile game. I was like, whoa, okay. Let's kind of tone it down a little bit, but what do you think, Scott?
I think exactly in Jack's position here. It's like you don't want to get overly hyped because they've been, luring us with their marketing scheme for quite some time now. Mm-hmm. But at the same point, let's be real, guys. After 13, things have kind of been on a set pace for the company. So I think 15 is really the make it or break it circumstance. If it's not a AAA game, then I think the company has to, make a lot more efforts in their procedures and policies. But genuinely, I am excited, a little bit nervous and anxious because you don't know how it's really going to pan out. But I mean, crap, we played 1 through 14. We gotta just to say we did. If it turns out horrible or extravagant, we gotta try it nonetheless.
Yeah, I worry that it's writing so many checks in our minds and everything. It's like it really has been such a hugely hyped game. I just don't know. I'm excited to play it. I mean, because like I said with World of Final Fantasy, I was happy about it. But it is what it is. With 15, it's a numbered installment. So what's going to happen? Our review of Kingsglaive was mixed. Some of the demo play was fun. But we'll see, and it's really, and it's not my wallet that, has invested in this game. I haven't put a dime towards it yet. Well, I guess I bought Kingsglaive, so.
Yep, same. So I guess we were attached.
I guess I did put money towards it, but that was a movie, so we'll ignore that. But what else can we really? This game has to be like the game of the year. Yep. This is, and the good thing is that No Man's Sky kind of crapped its pants, so. Yeah, poor No Man's Sky.
It was a mess.
So it has a chance to really look better than that game, and because it's not trying to be that type of game, obviously. I don't know. I talk about this at the kitchen table, and nobody listens to me about it. And I think about I'm worried that they're gonna do a really bad job on this, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Final Fantasy 15," and they're like, "Nobody cares here," and I'm like, "Oh, I have to talk to my podcast people about that." So we're. I think my anticipation is heightened, just because I've now played World of Final Fantasy. It didn't blow me away, but I didn't expect it to. I'm hoping that when I pick up Final Fantasy 15, I'm blown away. That'd be one of the greatest moments of my video gaming life, because there are games that have done that to me, that have had me in awe when I've started them, and I can't recreate 7's intro to me ever, because it was an amazing intro, or how just awesome it was to see Magitech armor marching to Narsh, or seeing the intro to 8, the intro to 8 was always amazing. You know, that if there's anything that like is it's like best intro ever right there. You can't beat 8's intro ever. 8 had the best because it was so all over the place. But it was amazing. And the fight that's going on. I mean, Squalid Cypher fighting in that intro makes that game, like, made that game be like, I need to play this game. And then you kind of get into it and you're like, Junction. Okay. You know, GF. And then, you know, it's... I actually enjoy 8 a lot. I really enjoy 8 a lot. But I don't, you know, there's so many FFs that I love that it's hard to put it in. You know, I would say it's probably a top 5 for me. Yeah, I mean...
Hey, I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean... so it really... But, you know, I'm looking for that moment from 15. I'm looking for a moment where I'm just like... Where I'm like, yes! Yeah! And it could be okay for the rest of the way through, but if it grabs me in the beginning... then I'll be like, okay, I'm going to finish this game. If it doesn't, I'm going to be like, oh, crap. You know, maybe I can go level my rogue in World of Warcraft. You know, I hate to be like that, but, you know, it's one of those things, you know. But I think that, you know, I mean, what day is it going to be released? The 29th?
29th, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
November.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. You know, we'll get to play it. What is that? That's not Black Friday, no.
I think it's a Tuesday.
That's a Tuesday,
think.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know why.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a Tuesday.
So it's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, so it's too bad.
I think the original release date was a Friday, I believe,
Yeah.
which I thought was kind of weird anyway. But yeah, I think this one's a Tuesday.
So I'm hoping that it is, you know, they go, oh, it's to get rid of day 1 patches. There's going to be day 1 patches. Who are they fooling? I mean, come on. You know, there are always day 1 patches. Don't be, you know, when you put a disc in a case, it's already antiquated. So just stop. But I think that we could see a great Final Fantasy. If we see a mediocre one, what does that do? I think that's going to be the type of podcast we have next time is what are your thoughts on Final Fantasy 15? This is going to be the last time we talk before then, most likely. So I'll see you guys then. I think that we've touched on everything that we need to with World of Final Fantasy. I think we've touched on 15 enough. I think that we laughed at it. I think Twitch was fun. I think that, you know, I mean, I told everyone that I wasn't going to pay attention to the chat, and I had to remove some troll that, you know, that just started spamming the chat. So, but that's fine. You know, yeah, I know. It's like, oh, yeah, that's great. Guess what? You've been reported to Twitch. Have fun.
Peace.
Yeah, peace out, buddy. But I think we're gonna really have a fun time in the next few weeks because we're gonna be able to play 15 finally, and we're gonna finally be able to give our honest opinion of a game that we've been waiting this long for. Not just, you know, since they pushed it back, but since it was versus 13, you know, 13 versus. So,
yeah.
Anyways, alrighty, guys. I bid you adieu on this Sunday. Take care. Thanks again for joining me again. I love doing these, and I think that we'll be able to really have fun with the next podcast. Whether it's like yay or okay, let's give a eulogy. You know.
Yep.
You know? So,
Final Fantasy had a great run.
Yeah.
Yep.
we had a great run, and now you know, I'll be playing Boys to Men. You know, it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. You know, I'll pour a 40 on the curb. You know,
wow,
that sort of. No, we won't do any of that. So, I love that song. Anyways, guys, take care and thanks again, and we'll chat with you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Sounds good. It's been real.
Bye.
See ya.